All right, we are turning to our next story now. You may have seen this headline earlier this week all over international media outlets. On the BBC, it read, Israel committing genocide in Gaza, world-leading experts say. On the Washington Post, it read, Israel's committing genocide in Gaza, leading scholars association says. These articles are referring to a resolution that has just been passed by the International Association of Genocide Scholars, otherwise known as the IAGS, which states that Israel's conduct meets the legal definition laid out in the UN Convention on Genocide. Now, this organization is being called and cited as the world's leading association of genocide scholars. But is it? Well, our correspondent Joe Brown wanted to see what it takes to become one of the organization's voting members. And it turns out for the low cost of $30, you too can become a genocide scholar, just like he did this morning. If you go to the IAGS website to look up its list of 500 members, you'll now see the face of our very own Joe Brown, who, as talented as we may think he is certainly not a scholar of genocide studies, but he did, in fact, have $30 to pay for his membership. Joe, you're joining us now with more on this. I think that we all have a lot of questions. Basically, tell us what the process was like to become accepted as a member of this organization and what made you decide to do this.
It was dangerously easy to become a member of the International Association of Genocide Scholars. All you have to do is go on their website, and there is a big red button in the top right-hand corner that says Join IAGS. So I clicked that, I filled in my details, and there we have it. But on top of that, it was so easy that they didn't even check any of my background. So if you saw the profile of mine just then, it said that I was an expert in the former Yugoslavia and Bosnia. I was also an expert in gender genocide and the Holocaust. None of those are unfortunately true.
So what do we actually know about the vote itself? You know, for instance, we saw Sarah Brown. She's not related to you, but she is a member of the IAGS for the last 10 years. She says that the group actually pushed this resolution through, accusing Israel of genocide without any debate, and that only 129 out of 500 members actually voted for this. What was in it?
So the organization itself, as you say, only has 500 members, which in itself is not a great amount. But usually for these kind of things, they have a town hall-like event. It's a virtual event in which everyone can join in. They can give their pros, their cons, and then afterwards they're able to vote after this debate, and they're able to decide whether it should pass or whether it shouldn't, whether it passes the legal definition of genocide or whether it fails to meet that threshold. In this instance, they did not do that. Sarah Brown said that she tried to show her objection. She tried to speak to them about it, but they weren't hearing it. They didn't even do any kind of public vote. This was solely the directors who decided this, and they cherry-picked certain people who they believe would help push forwards this agenda. And the reason why they're doing this is unknown, but it is worth noting that the International Court of Justice is still investigating Israel for these accusations of genocide. And if the leading experts, as they call themselves, if they are the ones to say that this is a genocide, then that could very easily sway the judge's position. It's something that could be brought forward to The Hague, and this could have very severe repercussions.
You could be a part of that now.
Evidently so.
Dan, I know that you were tweeting about this, you were writing about this. Give us a kind of quick update on what you had to say about this before we go out for the commercial break.
Well, genocide is very, very serious business, but there's a funny business about this organization. It's named so as to appear to be scholarly, but in fact, there's nothing scholarly about it. They let in not only our own Joe, but also any activist, any person interested in genocide, politicians, whoever. Perhaps a minority are actual scholars. As was noted, barely a quarter took part in the vote. Many of the genuine scholars have been coming out in public and saying that there was no actual debate, which is a violation of tradition in this group itself. It looks like a political position by a group masquerading as a scholarly outfit in order to create momentum behind the narrative that would have us believe that what's happening in Gaza is genocide. And I have to say, as someone who led the coverage of The Hague and who is close to leading world experts on this matter that I would rather not name, they can speak for themselves, but most actual scholars, while they may oppose the war, while they may suspect even that there are crimes against humanity happening and war crimes happening, do not believe it's genocide for a very, very simple reason. If Hamas handed over the hostages and surrendered tomorrow, clearly the war would stop. Therefore, it's not genocide. If it was a genocide, an intent to destroy the Palestinian people, no force on earth other than the defeat of Israel could possibly end the war.